you're planning your road trips for the summer, plan to make a stop at Jeptha Creed Distillery in Shelbyville. Their distillery offers great bourbon, craft beers, and live music with the turn of their Jammin at Jeptha concert summer series. Joining me how to make the signature Kentucky-made cocktail is bourbon. With their bourbon is Scott Hendry with Jeptha Creed. Thank you so much for being here today.
Of course, thank you guys for having me.
You've got so much going on at the distillery, don't you?
Listen, when it comes to the distillery, not only do we have a lot going on, but being, small, family-operated, female-owned, everyone winds up being the proverbial hat rack.
Yeah.
So, Monday through Friday, I'm a bottling lead, and then on the weekends, I'm a tour host. So if you've been through there before, you recognize my face, it's probably because I've poured you some bourbon at some point.
Absolutely. And so you're jamming with Jeptha summer concert series. It's going strong.
Yes.
Last month, Mason Ramsey was in there. We all noted him as the yodeling kid from Walmart. He has since grown up now.
He has since grown up quite a bit. What a voice on that little body. I'm telling you, he can really belt it. I was impressed.
Yeah, and then you have Philip Phillips coming in too.
Yeah, Philip Phillips is going to be coming up. And then after that, we're going to be having our second annual fall festival, which is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Last year, we had a corn maze where our logo was cut in a cornfield. You could see it from the sky. This year we're going to have another corn maze cut. So if you wind up flying over Shelbyville, you fly over Jeptha Creed, see if you can't see that corn maze.
Yes, and you've brought fall, a little bit of a preview down there too.
A little bit of a preview of that corn.
I am such a fall girly, so when I saw the set kind of transform into this segment, I'm like, oh my gosh, it is fall. And it's right around the corner.
I'm telling you what, it is right around the corner, and if you like the aesthetic of just this setup, you're also going to wind up loving the distillery too.
Yeah, so. And when do you do tours every single day?
So we don't do tours every single day right now.
Okay.
But it's going to wind up being Thursday, Friday, and Sunday is when we do our distillery tours. But Thursday through Sunday, we will be offering free tastings every hour on the hour, and we have a barrel tasting experience if you want a little bit more luxurious experience.
Yeah.
And if watching us do Cocktail Today winds up getting your attention, then we also offer mixology classes that you can be a part of.
Oh, that would be such a fun date night.
It's a really cool situation.
I'm sure a lot of people come out just for the cocktail making, and that's exactly what we're doing today.
Exactly.
This is a Kentucky-made mule, and you got all the fresh ingredients. We got mint and cucumber, so let's kind of build it up.
All right, so the first thing we want to do, obviously, is we want to grab some of this mint.
Okay.
So, you don't have to be too fancy with it. Just go ahead and grab a few sprigs and drop it down in there.
Yep.
And then we want to grab one cucumber and a second cucumber right on top of that mint.
And this is, it sounds very refreshing. Real quick.
It is phenomenal.
I got 3 of them. I'll eat one of them. How about that?
Well, I'll tell you what, not a bad snack.
Yes.
All right. Now, when we go to muddle, we know that mint is incredibly fragile.
Yes, you don't want a
so
salad.
We don't want to crazy mush it. We just kind of want to mash it up a little bit. We want to express the oils in that mint, get some of that beautiful cucumber flavor in there. And then when we start to add our sweeteners and our juices, it's going to really help invigorate all those flavors.
I can smell it already.
Oh yeah. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this lime juice here, and we're going to do just a ½ ounce of that lime juice. So you go ahead and do that.
Because these are really simple ingredients that you could easily make this at home.
Exactly, exactly. And simple sugar, I know it says in the name that it's simple syrup rather. It is incredibly simple. If you don't want to wind up spending money on store-bought stuff, everyone has sugar. We're just going to do a ½ ounce of that simple syrup. It's going to go right in there again.
Okay.
But simple syrup, it's an incredibly easy thing that you can wind up making at home. You don't have to go crazy with these ingredients. So
I'm sure a little bit goes a very long way.
Oh yeah, especially when we're talking about mint and cucumber and that lime juice. So for that, the elderflower liqueur, you're going to wind up doing a 3/4 ounce pour. All right, go right in there. Beautiful. All right, and then we get to the last ingredient, which is the ever important Jeptha Creed Bottle and Bond Bourbon.
And I must say, this is a beautiful bottle.
It is a beautiful bottle, and the labels are really cool too, especially for me, because that's what I do Monday through Friday, stick labels on bottles. So when we say things like we're labeled and bottled by hand, it is because we really and truly are labeled and bottled by hand. So for this one, just fill that little section all the way to the top twice and go ahead and dump it in.
All right. Now my favorite part is up next when you shake, shake, shake.
Exactly. And before we want to go crazy on the shaking, we do want to add something to cool everything down. So grab that ice cube. Might be a little cumbersome, but we got it.
Yes. Whoop.
Now this is the part that could get a little bit messy.
It could get a little dicey.
You wind up taking this guy here. We're going to dump the small into the big.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Give it a good smack. Make sure everything's all lined up. And then you just shake. Now we want to shake until our hands are cold.
Okay, it cools up really quick, actually.
Exactly. All right. So then when you go to pop it.
Oh no, you might have to help me with this part.
It is
I don't work out that often, so it's pretty vacuum sealed. See, it's tough.
It was. You got a better seal on it than I did. All right, now we're going to want to use the Hawthorne strainer here.
Okay.
Get it all lined up, and then very delicately pour over that big cube.
My hands are really small, too.
It is okay. Listen, if you are not making messes, we're not making cocktails.
Exactly, yes.
And then, of course, the finishing touch, we take this little bit of cucumber and mint.
Which
and
is so simple, yet so beautiful,
Exactly.
and it just sits on top.
Exactly.
Well,
people want to overcomplicate it, and sometimes you just don't have to.
Exactly. Well, cheers to that.
There we go.
Wow.
Right? Even if you don't like bourbon, this is a bourbon cocktail for you.
I was just gonna say, you get that little bit of bourbon at the very end, but you get that sweetness, that refreshing cucumber and mint, but it's the simple syrup and the lime that really, it almost tastes like a margarita.
It's dangerous is what it is. And that's why I like using that rye there, because if you do like a bourbon forward cocktail, you can throw a little bit more in there, have a little bit more of that rye shine through. So it's a really good cocktail.
So when people go to your mixology classes, will they learn how to make this and some other drinks too?
Absolutely. So anyone that winds up coming to that mixology class, they're going to learn 2 different cocktails. Okay. Not only are they going to make 2 different cocktails, they get to take one of these glasses home.
Oh, that's neat.
They're going to be able to keep the recipe cards, so if they love it, they can make it at home. It's not going to be an overcomplicated process, just like you saw today. I am not a bartender by trade, but I can still throw together a drink with some simple ingredients and a simple recipe. And that's, part of what we want to do there. But we also like to tell our story. Being family operated and female owned and growing all of our own corn, grinding all of our own corn, distilling all of our own spirits, labeling, bottling, everything by hand. Everything stops and starts at Jeptha Creed, at our property, and it's something we're incredibly proud of.
Yeah, and I mean, a bunch of people drive right by it. It's right off the 64.
Exactly.
So it's an easy on and off, but you want to stay a while when you're at the distillery.
Yeah, no, you're not going to want to just pass on through, especially if you've got kids. It is kid friendly, and we are dog friendly. I've got 2 kids, and they swear by our cheese pizza. So.
So much to see and do at Jeptha Creed Distillery. Again, so many different cocktail making classes. You can book a tour, and that can all be done online, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much for whipping this up. Again, it is so good. Even if you're not a bourbon person, this is the drink for you.
Absolutely.
So to learn more, just visit jepthacreed.com.